Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Beatles Song Ranking Project. It's been quite a while since we did a new song, and to make up for it, we're going to try to do several in this taping, and maybe even more. So I'll leave it open-ended at that. But in case you don't know, the next song on the list is It Won't Be Long, and it has been long since we got to it. My apologies. Other things have come up, namely the big show that I'm getting ready for, which is going to be on June 7th and June 8th here in Frederick, Maryland. It will also be live streamed on the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your alerts. It's going to be a Beatles extravaganza. It's going to be full of comedy and playing songs and audience participation and harmony sing-alongs and all kinds of good stuff. I think it's going to be original. I'll be doing it kind of like this. I'll be dressed like this. I'll do my accent. You know, when I do the accent, I feel like I become a poor man's Ricky Gervais. And when I say poor, I mean like penniless. I tend to crack jokes when I turn on the accent, and when I don't, I'm extremely boring, or more boring, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, before we get started with the Beatles, the greatest pop recording LP in history, I think. It's the other side of it. Before we get started, I'm real excited because I just got in the mail today 3 singles, right? Check it out. Flown in straight from England. The first one is, From Me to You. From Me to You's got problems. And then Thank You Girl, of course, is the B-side. Then I've got She Loves You. How about that? That's special. And I'll Get You. All right, that's cool. And then, hey, the singles to end all singles. I haven't listened to any of these. I just opened up the package a few minutes ago. Did a promo for the Matthew Sweet channel for my show. Okay, here's I Want to Hold Your Hand. How about that? And This Boy, of course, the B-side in England. All right. So I'm very excited, and after I get done with this, we'll go to those new singles. Hopefully, there's no scratches that are going to be audible. But anyway, before we get into It Won't Be Long, I just want to say that this LP, this album, it kind of changed my life. I had drifted away from the Beatles and actually played in a Beach Boys tribute band called Still Surfin', based in the area here in the DMV, for almost 10 years, pretty much 10 years. But in 2022, I started listening to this album over and over and over, and I realized I never got sick of it. And when I say over and over, I'm not exaggerating. I must have heard it 200 times in 6 months. No, more than that. But anyway, in case you've forgotten, here are all the tracks, right? Starts off with It Won't Be Long. And, in my estimation, the only songs that I have some problems with are a little bit Don't Bother Me. It just doesn't hold up to the standard of the others, I guess. Little Child is not one of their best. And for a while I had a problem with Money because it was just so screaming for money. But recently I heard that at the end John changed the line to I Want to Be Free. And so kind of give him a break, because it isn't that he wants money to have money. He wants money to have freedom, which is a little less sinister, if you follow my drift. Okay, so I'm going to see how far we can plow along today with these songs. And if we can get through one side, that'll be fabulous. If we can get through less, that'll do. If we get through more, amazing. So, I don't want to be rushed, but I'll tell you what, we'll look at each song, we'll talk about each song and the special elements of the song, and then maybe kind of I was going to say, look at the criteria. Look at the criteria. The criteria being, of course, number 1, melody and chord structure. Number 2, arrangement of Beatles treatment. Number 3, production and performance. That's in the recording studio. Number 4, lyrics. Number 5, the most important one, how does the song make you feel? So, but tonight we're going to scratch all that. We're just going to jump to the essence of each song and what's special about each song, at least what I find special. So hopefully that will guide me to putting these songs in an appropriate part of the ranking chart. And if I end up reconsidering, then I reconsider, because that's my prerogative. I'm the boss. But anyway, I hope you'll enjoy my review of the record, the LP. Here we go. All right, let's start with It Won't Be Long. It Won't Be Long, right there, right? It Won't Be Long, number one. So, first thing I'm going to say about It Won't Be Long, if you were a fan of the Beatles and you had Please Please Me, and you had the singles From Me to You, the B-side, and She Loves You, the B-side, and you were waiting on November 22nd, 1963 to get your copy of With the Beatles, you opened the record and you put the needle on to hear the first song, which you looked up and said it won't be long, what would have been your reaction? And I think it would have been good, because the energy in this song is sort of like, well, it should have been a single, right? It fits every necessity for being a single. It's what do they call it? A pot boiler, as George Martin liked to say. It's got an interesting melody. The verse is really interesting. Da 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 da. That's the whole melody on the verse. So the verse is not especially creative necessarily. It's unusual, but it doesn't matter, because the chorus is so catchy with the yeahs and the yeahs back. And then you've got the bridge, the lovely bridge. Since you left me, I'm so alone. Now you're coming on home. Well, anyway, you know the bridge. I'm so alone, now you're coming on home. So you've got the lovely bridge. You've got the fabulous ending. And you got Paul reaching the high note, at the end. And it's everything that you could have ever asked for, in my opinion, for opening a record and playing the first song. I certainly think that if it had been a single, it would have gone to number 1. It's a shame that they didn't put it on the playlist to play out live. Regarding where the song will go, at the conclusion of this long episode, we will show you where all of the songs went. So it's going to take some patience, and I apologize for that, but we need to get this show on the road and get these things cooking. So It Won't Be Long. Simply fabulous for a first song on the second record. If anybody was disappointed, they need to trade in the Beatles socks. I don't know what that means, but it just came to me. All right, so It Won't Be Long. Fabulous. That's a 10. That's an A+. All right, second song, All I've Got to Do. Now that one I remember. All right, here we go. Whenever I want you around, yeah, all I gotta do is call you on the phone and you'll come running home. Yeah, that's all I gotta do. Fabulous, 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 fabulous. Now, All I've Got to Do has a special place in my heart because it's on its own chart for my personal chart, a chart that I call You Like Me Too Much. And what that means is this particular song I sort of like more than most Beatle fans, I think. I've often cited this song as being my favorite Beatles song. It has been replaced by another song on the record, which you will never guess, but which is coming up. Which is coming up. And I think that this ballad is just lovely. The melody is fantastic. The arrangement is beautiful, I feel. The double tracking of, no, not the single tracking of John's voice is fabulous. The harmonies are excellent. It's not too long. I kind of wish that There's a Place had sounded a little bit more like this, which is pointless, of course. It can't change history. But to me, this is the first beautiful original ballad. Oh, maybe There's a Place. Okay, sorry. It all gets so confusing. But with All I've Got to Do, there's the lyrical element too, because you can very much visualize what's going through John's mind as he thinks about calling his girl and how simple it is to make that kind of contact. So anyway, All I've Got to Do for me is another A+. It's going to be near the top of the list for me. And it's going to be higher than probably most people will rank it. I'll try to hold back on ranking it too high when I do at the end of this program, at the end of this episode. But All I've Got to Do is simply fabulous. Now, after all that, so imagine you're listening to the record with the Beatles. You just purchased it at the local record store on November 22nd, 1963. Okay? Trying to think. You haven't gotten the news about Kennedy's assassination yet because it's 6 hours or 5 hours later in England than it is in America, which is very sad, of course, coincidentally. But the second song you hear is All I've Got to Do after It Won't Be Long. How excited are you? 2 for 2. 2 A+. 2 A+. But then the third song comes on there, and it's the little track called All My Loving. All right? Now, let me tell you how special All My Loving is. All Loving, as Johnny Carson would say, ask me how special is All My Loving? How special is All My Loving, Johnny? It's so special. It is so special that I am going to add a new criteria. Remember the criteria: melody and chord structure, arrangement, Beatle treatment, production and performance, lyrics, how the song makes you feel up to now. Well, it's the most important thing. It is the most important thing. But with All My Loving, we have to introduce a new criteria, and that is artistic appreciation. Because when you listen to this track carefully, you realize you are listening to a work of art. And although all the songs are essentially works of art, there's something so essentially perfect about this song that it takes on a new category, in my opinion. From the opening a cappella, to the triplets that John plays on the rhythm guitar, to the harmony that George adds, or I guess Paul did in the studio the last time through, to the beautiful solo, to the breaks in the song where the music stops, to the fact that it wraps up so beautifully, to the fact that the lyrics evoke, very visual, very big visuals. Paul's performance is just perfect. And this song, well, it was the first song for the Ed Sullivan Show, and there's probably a good reason for it. And to be honest, I never appreciated it quite as much as I do now upon reviewing it and considering it. And I will tell you right now that this is going to go to the top of the list. That's right. It is going to surpass She Loves You. All right? That's number one. And although She Loves You probably makes me feel better listening to it emotionally, I'm still going to give the nod to this one because of its artistic brilliance. Artistic brilliance. All My Loving. All right. Now imagine you are a teenager, 14 years old. You just bought with the Beatles, as we've been saying, and you put the needle down. You heard It Won't Be Long. You went crazy. You heard All I've Got to Do. What a beautiful ballad. You heard All My Loving and you're not really sure what you just heard because you just heard a perfect pop recording. And it was perhaps the first of the Beatles. Now, Please Please Me is fabulous and She Loves You is amazing. They're right up there. But something with all the elements of All My Loving puts it in a slightly different category. But I certainly understand if She Loves You is on the top of your list compared to All My Loving. Perfectly acceptable. Anything's acceptable. Everybody's list is different. Okay, so you've gotten through 3 tracks. Now you're on the 4th track. 4th track is Don't Bother Me by George Harrison. Well, that's neat. George gets his first original on any Beatles record. And that's exciting. And it doesn't quite have the punch and the fulfillment of some of the others, but it's not bad. And the melody is good. The melody is good. Throughout, all parts of the song have a good melody. George's vocal performance is very, very adequate and good. Probably not as strong as the first 3, right? It's probably not quite as strong. But let me tell you what I was thinking about this. Something I noticed, another revelation, if you will. What did every Beatles song have until this one? Every Beatles song had a harmony, at least one. At least one. But this one did not have a harmony. The first Beatle record to not have a harmony, first Beatle recording, is Don't Bother Me. All right, so what does that mean? Well, you can be symbolic and say, well, the rest of the Beatles abandoned him. They said, okay, George, I'm going to give you a track, but you're on your own. You're on your own. I don't know that that happens, but it makes for a good story. Now, I know George Harrison has often said something to the effect of he wanted people not to bother him about writing a song, so he wrote the song, Don't Bother Me, about writing, and now the song's written, you don't have to bother him anymore because he wrote a song. However, one could also make the inference that deep down, Don't Bother Me is really John and Paul saying to George, don't bother me to help you with your song, do it yourself. And I know that's an original extrapolation. Maybe it's not original, but I know it's out there. But think about it. They didn't give George a whole lot of rope to help him with his recordings. John Lennon famously got very upset when George asked him to help him with Taxman, which ended up being, in my opinion, the best track on the album. Certainly up there with Tomorrow Never Knows or whatever. They're all great on Revolver. But anyway, Don't Bother Me, not quite up to speed with the rest, but you wouldn't have been too disappointed if you gotten to that point and heard George's first original tune. And for some, I'm sure it's a favorite. Okay, so we move on to track number 5, Little Child. Little Child. Now, I'm going to try to be easy. I'm going to try to be nice. But Little Child has problems. And the biggest problem with Little Child is the melody. And that is, to me, derivative. And it's a melody of the time that fulfills a certain pattern and formula. And what is impressive about John's vocal performance is you would never guess that he is not interested in the song or does not love it, because he puts everything he has into that lyric, into that vocal. And it's quite good. It's very good. His performance steals the show, actually. But I do feel the song itself is weak. And when I say weak, I mean it's going to go perhaps just above Misery, okay? Or maybe it's going to go below it. That's what I'm talking about. So, if you love Little Child, I'm so sorry, but somebody has to be at the bottom, right? You got to pick one. Little Child, not the greatest record by the Beatles, my opinion. It's just my opinion. Everybody's got one, just like, that other thing that everybody has. Which maybe you think that's what I am right now, but that's okay. That's Little Child. All right, getting on to track number 6. Track number 6. Till There Was You. Till There Was You. Oh my gosh. For me, it's another perfect recording, a beautiful arrangement, a perfect arrangement with the bongos and Spanish guitar. And Paul's performance is one for the ages. No, it's not an original song, but could a cover be any better? Paul sings the song with such confidence. He's behind the beat just a little bit most of the time, but he doesn't exaggerate. He knows how to treat every note. It's perhaps his greatest vocal performance. And certainly in his wheelhouse. Okay, now Paul's got many great vocal performances, but listen to this song. It's incredible. It is a perfect pop record. It is a perfect cover. It will definitely go in the top 10, and certainly at this point it would be just above Boys. Yes, and that's as a cover. That's how highly I think of it. But stay tuned to the end of the episode to see where it ends up, okay? Because we're going to rank these based on the review, based on contemplation, and we're going to do them all at the end of the program. But at the end of this episode. But Till It Was You is a revelation. It is a revelation. An absolute revelation. I can't get sick of listening to it. Just like just about every song on the album. The only one I get sick of is Little Child. I do get sick of that. Even Don't Bother Me is not too bad. All right. Next track. Please, Mr. Postman. Please, Mr. Postman. Now, here's the big surprise. I don't think anybody cares, but please, Mr. Postman goes to the top of my list that I call You Like Me Too Much list, which is songs that I like more than the average Beatle fan probably does. And for me, believe it or not, and it's kind of crazy, Please, Mr. Postman is my favorite Beatles recording of all. And the reason is, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. Why does it make me happy? Well, if I had to describe it, it's just like, there's just no stress. You're just in it. You're just in it. You're just going along, and it's easy, and it's got the claps, wait. 2 and 4, 2 and 4. So when they say wait, that's the 1 of the beat. I just figured this out. And then the 2 and 4 is when the claps come. I love the colorized version of the live performance they do on YouTube. Sorry, I keep poking at my glasses. They keep slipping off. But in a deep way, I think that Please, Mr. Postman puts me in a state of relaxation that not too many songs do. And I've finally become sort of aware of it by becoming familiar with that feeling and sort of recognizing it. It is a brilliant cover, and like I said, it's my favorite Beatles recording. I know that sounds crazy. I do know it sounds crazy, but I'm just being honest with myself. Please let me know if anybody else feels the same way. I kind of doubt it. Please, Mr. Postman. We're going to keep rolling here. We're going to side 2. Side 2. All right? Let's break out the record here. Side 2 of With the Beatles starts with, well, it's kind of hard to see, but Roll Over Beethoven. Let's get back to, and by the way, I just got this a couple of weeks ago. This is the 2009 reissue that was remastered, and it sounds incredible. I got it from Capitol Records, even though it's not a Capitol record, it's Parlophone, $30 plus postage, and it is worth every penny. Okay, Roll Over Beethoven. This is another one, folks. The more I've listened to it, the more I like it. I like the live performances. I love George's energy. I love George's performance, both on the guitar and on the vocal. It is flawless. It is confident. It is such a well-produced cover. The performance and the production are fabulous. The claps are fabulous. I guess they're gonna write a little letter, gonna mail it to my local. Is that right? Is that when they clap? Anyway, it inspired me so much that I picked up the electric guitar and tried to learn the solo. I'm still working on it, and if if it works out, I will actually play it at my live show on June 7th, June 8th, here in Frederick, Maryland. Also going to be live streamed on the 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't be surprised if I throw on the guitar strap and play the solo of probably pretty badly, but I'm working on it. I'm not much of an electric guitar player. I'm not much of a guitar player at all, but I rarely play leads. But I was so inspired by this track that I'm playing leads. So again, Roll Over Beethoven, a cover. It's still going to go in the top 10. I'm telling you right now, at least at this point, this stage of the game, we're only going to be, after this album, after this LP, we're going to be up to 32 songs. And I think Roll Over Beethoven may be coming in around number 9 or 10. But stay tuned. At the end of this episode, we're going to put all the rankings in according to my decisions based on tonight. Okay, Roll Over Beethoven. Hold me tight. Whoa, whoa, ho, 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 ho. Hold me tight. That's right. Hold me tight. So many of you know that the Beatles have tried to record this for their first LP, but had trouble with, I guess, the harmonies or something, the arrangement. And when they finally recorded it for this record, Paul McCartney was not especially happy with it. Well, guess what, Paul? You're wrong. It's fabulous. It's incredible. It's an A+. It's a special record. It has incredible harmonies. It has incredible energy. It could have been a hit single. It could have been a hit single. And the fact that you've shunned this record like an ugly stepchild is a shame, because it is incredible. You need to resurrect it if you can, or at least talk better about it, in my opinion. And if anybody doesn't like it, please let me know, because everyone's entitled to that opinion. But I think that Hold Me Tight is a rocker. And I think that it is also top 10 material. We'll see how it works out. But the performance is incredible. I don't know what they had problems with in the end. Okay, maybe the harmony wasn't perfect both times, but that's okay. They screw up harmonies all the time. Doesn't matter. You get the feeling. And it's impressive that they, with all the frustration that they had having to try it twice, that they came up with something that in the end is so fabulous. Fabulous. Hold Me Tight is really one of my favorite. It's a top 10 for me. So it probably belongs on the You Like Me Too Much list. That's the list of songs that I like more than the average Beatles fan, I think. All right, moving on. You Really Got a Hold on Me. Would you believe I met one of Smokey Robinson's cousins? I'm actually working with him. It's the grandmother whose first cousins was Smokey. You Really Got a Hold on Me is just a beautiful ballad. Its lyrics evoke so much visual emotion. The arrangement is beautiful. John Lennon's lead and the harmonies are beautiful. It's a real A+ for a cover and for a ballad cover. You can't go wrong. I think the originals take the cake for this record. Although Roll Over Beethoven also is a cover that exceeded everything, as did Till There Was You. There's lots of great covers on this record, but You Really Got a Hold on Me is something you can listen to over and over, and I'm sure for many people it's one of their favorites. I'll give it a B+. I'll give it a B+, and if I have to guess where it's going to go in the charts, it's probably going to go at the end of 34 songs. It'll go maybe around 20 to 25, something like that. It's tough. It's tough being a Beatles record and being on a chart. There's a lot of competition. All right. I Want to Be Your Man. I Want to Be Your Man. Once again, Ringo scores. Are you kidding me? Boys and I Want to Be Your Man, those are two of the best rockers by the Beatles, in my estimation. Ringo's pitch is perfect. It's time for a Ringo dance party. Turn on the song, put on the record, and let's get up and dance, I want to be your lover, baby. Okay, I'm not going to dance. That's too much. All right. But, of course, very famous story about writing the Beatles, writing the song to give it to show the Rolling Stones how simple it was to write a song. And because they didn't consider it one of the best penned songs. They gave it to Ringo, throwaway, but no, it's not a throwaway. It is fabulous. And the recording and performance, the production and performance by Ringo are off the charts. It's an A+. It's an A+. It will go likely in the top 15 once I get around to doing the list. And so stay tuned at the end of the episode for where each of these songs is going to go. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be good. Ringo, you didn't get your justice. With those two rockers in the first record, you should have been given more rockers. You should have been given more rockers and not throwaway songs. Not the What Goes On. Oh my gosh. Now, Daisy's down here, folks. If you know Daisy. Hi, Daisy. There she is. She's being very patient. But quit bumping the mic stand, Daisy. I got to keep myself centered. Okay, so I Want to Be Your Man. A+, A+. Next song, Devil in Her Heart. Devil in Her Heart. A beautiful performance by George on the lead vocal. And the back and forth are just splendid. The lyrics are so evocative. The guitar work at the beginning and end are simply fabulous. This is it's not an A+ for me, but for me it's a solid B+. Solid B+. And I love the way George takes center stage, and then John and Paul kind of try to talk him out of it, but he's just too much in love. It paints a beautiful picture of energy between Roll Over Beethoven, Devil in Her Heart, and Don't Bother Me. This is the strongest, or one of the strongest records for George. Certainly having 3 tracks out of 14 was exceptional, and one might wish that it happened more often. But Devil in Her Heart is just a delight. It's a delight. It's another B+, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'll say it's going to probably make the top 25 when we get to the list. We'll see how it goes when we get to the end of the episode. All right, so the next one, we're getting close to the end, folks. Very close, in fact. The next one is Not a Second Time. Not a Second Time. All right, track number 13. This also falls in the category of You Like Me Too Much. I like this song better than most Beatles fans. I don't know why, but I sense that I do. There's something so unique in the production of this song. Maybe it's the piano, maybe it's the echo, the tone, there's something mysterious about it. Maybe it's the Aeolian cadences. Oh, we've all heard so much about those Aeolian cadences. What are they? I don't know. But this song, the lyrics are so typical of John, just being jealous and all sort of stuff. But I don't really listen to the lyrics. I listen to the music. And this song, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It takes me to a different place. I just get transfixed by this recording. And it's a perfect double track. This one is double tracked, whereas All I've Got to Do is a single track of John. This one's double tracked, very strong. You hear 2 voices. At my show, I was actually thinking about inviting a friend up to sing it with me because he's got a good, strong John voice. A gentleman named Rob Isley, a very talented Beatles singer. He sang Twist and Shout at my 60th birthday party last year, which if you go to the video, episode number, 14, you can see him singing a really good pitch and really strong, belting it out. That's my friend Rob Isley. So maybe I'll get Rob up on stage to sing Not a Second Time on Saturday night, June 7th at Give Rise Studio in downtown Frederick, Maryland. Still some tickets left for the Sunday show. The Saturday show is sold out, $20, and it benefits the Alzheimer's Association, of which I should become a member very soon here. I'm gonna need it. Not a Second Time, A+, A+. For me, an A+. Just below, Please Mr. Postman, and All I've Got to Do. Yes, so Please Mr. Postman is the number 1 for me for the You Like Me Too Much list. All I've Got to Do is number 2. Not a Second Time, number 3. And number 4 at this point would be Do You Want to Know a Secret? Okay. All right, finally, the last track. The last track is another Potboiler, Money. Another cover, Money. For the longest time, I had a big problem with this. Every time that would come at the end of listening to the whole record, I'd hear John's primal screams, and I would think, John, you're really wishing for your money a little too hard, okay? The money's coming. By the end of 1964, as you probably know, the Beatles were all millionaires. They're all millionaires. And, but if you can put that out of your mind, and like I said, by adding the line at the end, I want to be free, he's sort of saying, I don't want money for the sake of money, or as they say, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. But he's saying, I want money so that I can have freedom, which is what he would get. Until, of course, that all ended tragically in 1980. But it is a potboiler. It is well recorded. It is well arranged with the piano and the guitar, and John's performance is just as good as Twist and Shout, really. It's fabulous. His primal screams at the end are pretty impressive. And yeah, I mean, if you're just talking about rock and roll, it doesn't get much better than Money. I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to give it an A and maybe take away the A+, because the message is a little materialistic compared to all the love songs and everything else that the Beatles do, and the positive messages. This one makes you kind of step back and say, whoa, okay, all right. Want money that badly? Okay, well, you're going to get it. More than you're going to know what to do with. So that's the record. Folks, I do joke that if you're talking about what's the greatest Beatles record, or the greatest Beatles album, that it's a tie between these two, Meet the Beatles and With the Beatles. Of course, Meet the Beatles has I Want to Hold Your Hand, I Saw Her Standing There, and This Boy. But With the Beatles is the original, and that's the one we've been reviewing in this episode. And hope you've enjoyed it. I want to encourage you to listen to this album very closely and listen to it again and listen to it again. And if you thought that Rebel Soul was your favorite album, or you thought that Sgt. Pepper's was your favorite album, or you thought that Abbey Road or Revolver or any of those, or Hard Day's Night, listen to this several times and think about it. You may reconsider. The reason this is the greatest album, in my opinion, by the Beatles, is because of the joy it brings to everyone's hearts. There is a wonderful ease about just about all the album. It transfixes you, I'll use that word again. But for me, I think what brought people to the Beatles originally was that unbridled joy. And nowhere is it better represented than here in that picture, and here in this iconic picture. And wait a minute, I gotta show you something. Hang on. I'm glad I got the remote mic here because oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Hey, why no, I'll do it later. I'll show it at the end of the program when I can go out to the car and get it. I've got something very special to share with you. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and go to the chart where we're going to rank all of these, and we're going to have a new list. Instead of being 18 songs, it's going to be 32. Thank you for tuning in to this very special and very long episode of the Beatles Song Ranking Project, in which we've done all of With the Beatles. Let's Meet the Beatles. With the Beatles. All right, here we go with the rankings, and here we go. All righty, folks. The ranking chart has been officially updated. Let's see what we've got here. Coming in at number 32, yikes, Little Child. Then Misery hangs on at number 31. Then Anna. Then There's a Place. Nothing new from the LP until we get to Don't Bother Me. So Little Child, number 32. Misery, 31. Anna, 30. There's a Place, 29. Thank You Girl, 28. Don't Bother Me, 27. A Taste of Honey, 26. Devil in Her Heart, 25. Baby It's You, 24. 23 is Love Me Do. 22 is Chains. 21 From Me to You. 20 Money. 19 Do You Want to Know a Secret. 18 You Really Got a Hold on Me. 17 I'll Get You. 16 Not a Second Time. 15 Please Mr. Postman. 14 Ask Me Why. 13 I Want to Be Your Man. Number 12, Boys. Number 11, All I've Got to Do. Number 10, Hold Me Tight. Number 9, P.S. I Love You. Number 8, Roll Over Beethoven. Number 7, Twist and Shout. Number 6, It Won't Be Long. Number 5, Till There Was You. Number 4, Please Please Me. Number 3, I Saw Her Standing There. Number 2, She Loves You. And the new number 1, All My Loving. That's it, folks. Read 'em and weep. I'm feeling pretty good about the list. I'm feeling very good about the list. What does your list look like? Please let me know in the comments. And now, one last thing. One last thing, folks. I was so inspired the last few weeks about the album and getting the record in the mail and listening to it incessantly, and it's just a great recording, that a friend of mine who does work with wood and so forth offered to do a Beatles work for me, which I paid. So I had him do the cover. Okay, so brace yourself. Here it is. Oh, da-da-da. It's 16 by 20. It's an original. And I think it's fabulous. I think it's fabulous. It will be adorning a wall here in my home, here in lovely Frederick, Maryland. And I'll never love a record better than this record with the Beatles. And this is a very suitable item for me to own. If you're interested in getting your own, just give me a shout in the comments and I'll hook you up with the artist. And that's gonna do it for this very special episode of the With the Beatles analysis. Peace and love and the man up above.